Yo guys, what is up? Got some domination on Nuketown. I'll be rolling with the Bullfrog, the Howler 77, the typical objective player perks, Flatjack Attack Mask, Assassin Gearhead, and Ghost Ninja. And I think that's about it. Yes, I do have attachments on my guns, but it's kind of redundant to say every video that I have attachments on my guns, and it's pretty obvious that I have attachments on my guns. But anyway, into the video. And if you haven't noticed, at least by the quality, this was recorded on the new PC, which I do have a very interesting story to tell with that. More on that in a second. I'm playing high settings on pretty much anything. I think I turned shadows down and I run out of ammo here like a big dumb idiot. And I was hoping that I would get the animation for the finishing move so I can unlock that character finally, but nope. I found trying to do finishing moves sometimes just bug the fuck out. It doesn't work, and sometimes I die. Oh well, whatever. I thought this gameplay would be pretty interesting because I upped my field of view from 90 to 120, and fucking hell, I felt like I was on speed the whole game. I was just running to their spawn with an SMG when I was playing this. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I did in Battlefield 1 when I upped my field of view, and I'm just going to go crazy and just see what happens. And that is why I'm talking to you right now, because I got, in my opinion, a pretty entertaining and decent gameplay, even if it is on Nuketown. Hey, what can you do? It's what the people chose, it's what I did good on, so here I am. So I'm recording this on the 6th, which is Sunday. I got my CPU yesterday on Saturday, and I got my PC built. Took me roughly around an hour to get everything in, and about another 3.5 hours of troubleshooting, cable management, and other odds and ends like driver installation and the works. And it ran fine. It's probably the fastest computer I've ever had, and I didn't realize just how slow the PC I'm using now was until I booted this thing up, and it's like boom, instant in Windows. Load a game up, boom, instant loading, you know, it's amazing. Now, for those of you wondering what the specs are, I run a Ryzen 5 5600X CPU, 6 cores, 12 threads, or whatever the fuck. Not too hardware savvy. I just read stuff on the interwebs, and I know from reviews what's good. But the GPU is a Radeon 5600 XT, and that's only in the system long enough for me to get a NVIDIA 3070 whenever stock normalizes, which I'm hoping will be sometime before tax time, because I know once tax time hits, they're just going to go out like they have ever since this damn paper launch. It's not a paper launch, by the way. Anyway, I've got 32 gigs across 4 sticks of G-Skill RAM at 3600 megahertz. It's not overclocked yet. I'll get to the reason why here in a minute. And I have hard drives, all that boring stuff. Don't need to really mention any of that. I got plenty of hard drive space. For motherboard, this is where the story happened. So, the original motherboard I had in mind for the PC was the Gigabyte Aorus Elite 550 B550 ATX board. And like I said, everything booted up perfectly last night. I played COD for a couple of hours, got this gameplay, and things were fine. I got my Windows update done before I went to bed. Then I wake up this morning to make sure the Windows update was done. It was done, but when I was running tips last night, I noticed that the CPU was running a bit higher than I expected, or was thinking it would run. It was running about mid-80s, about 85, 81 to 89. I think the highest it hit was 90. I'm like, damn, that's really hot. And then I got started looking at my case and went, well, shit, there's no exhaust fan on this case. So I got up this morning, went outside, took dogs out, walked around a bit. Was waiting on a phone call. Came in, installed the exhaust fan, and I gotta turn it on. And there's no display. And the lights on my keyboard and mouse weren't lighting up. I thought, shit, what the fuck happened? Is everything plugged in right? So I made sure everything's plugged in right, front panel connectors, blah, 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 just basic stuff, things could come loose, because plugging the front panel connectors on this case was a bitch. At least for me. Well, not on the case, but on the motherboard. So I checked everything, changed out the GPU pin, the GPU cable. It's still not booting. Changed out hard drive, still not booting. Put the GPU in the stream PC, it booted. I'm like, well, the GPU's not the problem, because I noticed the fans weren't spinning on the GPU in the big PC. I tested the RAM on each stem slot, made sure the RAM worked. It worked. It didn't boot. I changed the RAM out from the stream PC to the other PC, still didn't do anything. I put the GPU in the other PC, still didn't do anything. So I come down to my final odds and ends testing with some help from Silvannosty's brother, and I took the battery out, put it back in, still nothing. So I'm like, alright, well, it's either the motherboard's dead, which my first idea was the motherboard's dead, because whenever you usually turn on a PC and you have an LED backlit mouse or keyboard or anything of the sorts, the lights usually come on if they're plugged into the motherboard, which they should be. They didn't do that. So I didn't think it was the CPU, because the CPU fan was running, but still that's not a good indicator because it runs off the motherboard. I didn't think it was the motherboard at first because the fans were running, but it wasn't giving me the display, so I thought it was the GPU. So after about an hour and a half of troubleshooting, I finally get my stream PC put back together, which the only good thing that came out of that today was the fact I got to actually clean it pretty decently now, since I took everything out pretty much and just scrubbed it down as best as I could, and it looks really nice right now. So we drove about an hour to Best Buy and pick up the current motherboard I'm using, the, what is it, the MSI X570 wireless gaming fucking something, some big, it's an X570 motherboard. Spent $200 on it, and that's the motherboard that's in it. Got home, I put everything in it and made sure it booted into BIOS. It did, and I couldn't be happier. So I got that done, and after doing some re-cable management, because I didn't think the cable management I had done last night was that great, because I just wanted to get it done and put together, I went ahead and fixed it, and it looks better, at least in my opinion, and now my PC's running. So what happened, I think what really happened was the sleeves on my cables for my PSU and the sleeve on the fan header splitter, I think when I slid the cable through of the fan, somehow it created a little discharge and it shocked the system. And shocked the motherboard at least, and shorted out the motherboard. Was it that? I don't know. I'll never know. Motherboard's dead. I'm gonna try to get a refund for it. But that's been my day, and it's a scary thought when you've put, God, almost 5 hours of your time into building something. You finally get the one thing you absolutely want, and you go to turn it on, and it doesn't work. But I haven't tested any of the temps with the exhaust fan in yet. It's like almost 11 o'clock. I came home from Best Buy, I threw the motherboard in. I think we got home at like almost 6 o'clock. I put that in. I finally ate something for the first time at like almost 9 o'clock. I took the dogs out, took a shower. I hadn't showered all day either, because I've been busy. And now I'm about to play a little bit of COD and see if the new Windows update, since it finally updated all the way, will give me a little bit more FPS. And I haven't overclocked anything yet, because I would love to overclock my CPU once I get my 3070. I'm not doing it until I get my CPU cooler, which I'll get a Dark Rock Pro 4, because the temps right now are way too hot. If I overclock that, it's going to overheat. I mean, I can overclock the RAM, that's no problem, but I don't see a point in overclocking the RAM just yet. Why not just do it all at once, or maybe I'll just gradually do it as I go. But I have one more gameplay from the old PC, and that will be uploaded. You'll be seeing this on Wednesday. That last gameplay on the old PC will be up by Friday, at the latest. Well, that's my little PC mishap. Make sure you don't have any static electricity on you when you're messing with anything on your motherboard or parts in general. I thought I had my static bracelet on, guess not, or it just came off. But final score is 53-19, 13 objectives, and almost 11,000 points. Hope you guys enjoyed this. There will be more actually high quality gameplay coming, high quality in terms of in-game quality, maybe not gameplay, but we'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and peace out.